Welcome to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Owen Hayes. You're watching Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented to you by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Today is Sunday, December 17th. Believe it. We are literally days away from Christmas. It's just nuts, let alone, does that blow your mind a little bit? But it's going to be the first of the year, 2024. Nuts. Anyway, we're going to line you out on quite a few different things today. We're going to talk a little bit of hunting. We're going to talk, of course, some fishing. But hopefully we can just get you excited and maybe out in the outdoors to have some fun going into these holidays, because it can be a nice way to kind of get away from the crowd, if you know what I mean. Hopefully not into the crowd, but we'll talk about that. In a little bit, we're going to show you lots of photos that everybody's been sending in, so be patient if you've been sending those in. This upcoming segment, we call it the Field Report for a reason. Although I was not in the field yesterday, I spent most of the day preparing for when I'm going to get into the field. But we will have a couple of things to share. River levels, of course. We're going to have a couple of reminders for you. And one right here, the Terra Firma hotline. Today being Sunday, we used to, for, like 13, 14 years, called it the Viewer Show. Okay? Today is one of those. We got plenty of time set up to take your phone calls, so call us, 503-548-6777. Questions, comments, reports, like always, this is the time to jump in. We've got plenty of time to do that. So please, again, don't be shy. We'll have it, but there will, I mentioned that on our Facebook page this morning, and somebody had clicked in there, and I had forgotten all about this. Is it fifth caller time? God, you remember those? We'll get there again. We'll get there again. But today, we also have the Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week, and we're going to kind of expand on that. It's only supposed to be one segment. It's going to be a little bit longer. Live report from Big Lake, Washington. Okay, we're going to get to that here in a second as well. We got a live report coming in that we're going to get to. Couple of different things. We get lots of questions on our Facebook page, different ways, emails, and folks I just run into, like at Fisherman's Marine or whatever else. And I think a lot of times, as a talking head, right, there's so many of them that are around. This is an easy one to talk about. It's called bobber dogging, right? The question was, why have I talked about two different ways that I like to go after steelhead bobber dogging? One way being a fixed float setup, which, for a little history lesson, that's actually exactly how bobber dogging came out of Canada, and it was called dink float fishing, or dink fishing, for those that love to write books and say that you've done that yourself. But anyway, we're going to talk about that, why I like that fixed float setup in a lot of situations, and, of course, a sliding float setup, which a lot of people, oddly enough, maybe not for most, I see I'm a little interested there. Excuse me. The sliding setup is what some would call a standard way of bobber dogging. So again, we're going to cover two different ways to actually set up and why I like to do that in the situations that I use one as opposed to the other. Also, the other question that we got was a very basic one, but again, as a talking head, it's an easy one to talk about. And for those that are relatively new to back trolling, there's not a lot of talk about pulling plugs. Now, last handful of years, I've had Cody Herman in here, Terry Mulkey, Jack Glass, others, multiple, David Johnson, Chris Bertopoulos, who loves to pull plugs, right? Plug fishing is one of the, one very, very, very effective way to target steelhead, salmon, whatever, right? But kind of overlooked, and the question is a good one. How do you like to set up one rod to run a plug or diver and bait? Now, like I already did earlier this morning, I'm going to qualify that. If you're going to run diver and bait, make sure you do it in a situation where you're not targeting wild fish, that you're in a situation that is a hatchery river, where there are hatchery fish in the area. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way, no emails. Awesome. So no, it'll be a good one. A couple of really good ways to go after them, and if you're looking for, you know, maybe not necessarily more of an advanced way to bobber dog, but maybe a way that you haven't done before. And the best fishermen that I know that target steelhead, winter steelhead in particular, this is exactly how they do it, for a reason. Anyway, so we're going to have that again is your Chevy Silverado Tech Tip of the Week. We're going to get there. Also, like I mentioned, we've got 2 segments set up for your phone calls, and we're going to go there right now. I've got Richard from Kenmore. Now, typically, when we talk to Richard, he's out in the saltwater chasing something when they don't close it on him, or, you know, when you're an attorney, well enough of an educated attorney to find out, you know, when and where you can actually go fishing up there in the Puget Sound area. But you're on Washington. How's it going, Richard? It's got to be cold, man.
A little bit. What, 45 degrees, 40 degrees? Not bad.
That's not bad. No,
typical Northwest day.
Yeah, not horrible at all. How's the fishing this morning?
Struggling a little bit. Just we had a whole bunch of water, and we're down here fishing the south tip of Mercer Island, right at the mouth of where the Cedar River dumps into Lake Washington there.
Okay.
And it looks like it's cleared up a little bit, probably back to like 5, 6, 7 feet of visibility, but boy, it's the water levels are really high, and it looks like it just spread the fish out a bunch. So kind of in search mode with let's see, I got on a Smile Blade Glow Burst with 4 red beads, and my buddy's got on a Purple Haze Wiggle Hoochie. I'm running a Shrimp Tail, and he's running a little bit of worms, 18-inch leaders with addicted Dodgers. Just kind of in search mode, looking for something to bite on. I need to get bent up.
Dude, I get it. I totally understand. I'm starting to Jones a little bit. Duck hunting has really kind of slid off a little bit the last handful of days, and there's been some steelhead caught, and yesterday I was messing with that gear half the day, so it kind of gets you fired up about it. But you got to tell everybody, what are you targeting? What species of salmonoid are you targeting this morning?
We're targeting Lake Washington cutthroat, which they have a sea run and a residential fish. Really easy to tell them apart. The sea runs are a little bit smaller, and they are chrome, to where the residential fish have the red stripe going down, really pronounced red cuts underneath their chins there. And We're looking for some early winter kokanee is what primarily after. So
now, based on what you were telling me, and listen, everyone, I've never been there. I'm just, dumb enough to inject maybe a thought. Does it help if you keep your gear closer to the surface in those kind of conditions when the water's a little bit higher and off color? Do you, change the zone that you keep your baits in? Richard knows what he's doing, everyone. But do you do anything different that might be more effective, maybe for those that spend time up there as well?
Well, the big thing is with this El Nino year, we haven't had, a couple of freezing mornings, 30, 32, but we haven't had anything drastic. So I don't even think the lake's turned over yet. There's still a thermocline, at like 60 feet. So I'm kind of confused right now, but I'm not sure. We've seen some fish surface, and then we've marked them all the way down to 60 feet. So right now we got downriggers set at like 45 and 35, and I'm going to switch up my gear to I think I'm going to go with a little Brad's cut plug and put it down there, see if they want something with a little bit more action on it. So
could be. Richard, thanks for your call this morning and sharing the info, and at least letting everybody know there are options right now. If you're not as insane as I am to try and hunt ducks every day, especially where we are currently, at least where I'm hunting currently, that there are some really good options out there. Lake fishing, obviously some river opportunities. We will be talking about that later on throughout the show. Richard, thanks again, man. And if we don't talk to you before Christmas, Merry Christmas to you, okay?
Hey, I want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. And I know as well as you do, you're going to go after ducks a lot more than you do steelhead. So
I know.
Good luck with the rest of your duck season, and Merry Christmas to all the viewers and watchers as well.
Thanks. We appreciate it, Richard. Take care, my friend. All right, let's show you some of the photos that everybody's been sending in, and we truly do appreciate it. We love going through these things. And I know that now that Ryan's had a couple of years under his belt with being the producer of Outdoor GPS, I know that he sits there and will look at photos as they come in and be like, man, these people are nuts. They continually come in, and we love that. So there's lots of ways to do it. Facebook and others will get there. Here's a double limit from Zach. A little dirty bag that I would be happy to have an opportunity to go after here in the last couple of days. It's been a little tough where I'm spending time. But you can see I don't see a single mallard in there. Oh, maybe there's one. No, that one. Well, maybe that's a mallard. No, maybe not. Either way, Zach, great shoot. Good job, man. Thanks for sending the photo in. That's a blacktail, everyone. Yum. Ate some blacktail last night. I like to call it roadkill. Eric, thanks for sending it over. Nice photo, too. I love those white patches on those bucks when they get, fired up a little bit. Lily's trout, Hag Lake. God, there's another great fishery. That's right by the dam, everyone. One of the most popular spots, of course, on Hag. And yes, if you went there today, if the east wind didn't blow you off, you got a good chance of catching some fish. Nice photo. Thank you for sending that in. Missouri. I didn't even look at the text. I was like, that's a whitetail. Where did he? Okay, it's Missouri. That explains it. I don't care where the photos come from. That's a dandy. Looks like a 10-pointer, right? That's what they call them over there. For us over here, we might not say that, but for whitetail, you should. But yeah, that's a 10-pointer. Nice buck, Todd. Jeez. Love it. Delicious. I've only had the opportunity to eat whitetail once. Whew, and I will never forget it. And I believe we have one more. Or are we done with those? No, we got one more. Oh, Kitty, you got to take predator control of something, everyone, that we are not doing nearly enough of here in Oregon and Washington. As a matter of fact, they're trying to put more predators in the woods. And they're already extremely overpopulated, in a lot of people's opinion, not necessarily mine. Very, very cool. Anthony, thanks for helping out the deer and elk herd wherever it is that you may be spending your time. Here's a good one. Looks like a big old goose there as well. Salmon Stan, I love the name. Debbie sent this in with a nice bunch of mallards, widgeon. Yeah, pretty darn cool. Matter of fact, they took the photos so well, I can't see the background well enough. No, I'm just teasing. I wouldn't try to do that. I mean, that's not why I don't show any of my success photos on our Facebook page at all, everyone. For everyone that gives me a hard time for that. Steve Fletcher, thanks for sending this one in. Coltis Lake, look at that lake trout. You know how old that fish is, everyone? Believe it or not, that fish is double digits solid. It's crazy how long it takes those fish to actually grow. So Steve, thanks for the photo. Beautiful out there. It's not what it looks like these days, mainly because of the time of year, everyone. But here's a great way that you can, I believe. Now, Ryan, you're going to have to explain this to me, too, what it is that you're doing here. You've got a completely different setup here. Is this how folks are going to be able to upload photos? Okay, apparently this is a new, can they still do it over the Fox 12 app? Okay, so if you've already been loading up photos from the Fox 12 app, which is a very, very good way to do it, absolutely go over and download that app so you can utilize it. But here's also another way to do it from our Fox 12, or excuse me, KPTV.com, correct? All right, so number of different ways that you can upload photos, video, don't forget that, because we'd love to show you off. All right, I'm several minutes over, so forgive me for that. Let's go ahead and cut to a break. When we come back, we're going to have our report segment. We'll kind of show you where everything's at before we go into this upcoming week. Things are going to get busy around here for a reason. It's the holidays. We'll be back with more Outdoor GPS in just a couple minutes.